No, it's not about sex, unless she's in the mood. Her body, her rules, right. Cooking for you. Nah, she's not gonna play the role her mom did for her dad. You're a modern man, cook for yourself. Cleaning the house. Who needs that? Hire a maid, unless you are stuck in some chauvinistic time warp. If a guy isn't interested in fatherhood or the whole family package, why bother with marriage? Recent stats show marriage rates in the US have plunged by almost 60% over the past few decades. In a rather eye-opening revelation, the National Center for Family and Marriage Research has brought to light a startling statistic. The institution of marriage in the United States has witnessed a staggering 60% decline over the last 50 years. It appears that the once-venerated tradition of marriage has lost its charm, raising questions about its relevance in modern times. You can find a link to the study in the description below. Gone are the times when marriage was seen as a societal obligation, a ceremonial entry into adulthood. According to sociologist Andrew Chelin from Johns Hopkins University, marriage now seems to have been relegated to the final stride into adulthood. The conventional sequence of events, marriage, living together, and job establishment has been disrupted by the surge in popularity of cohabitation and shared parenting. It's as though the appeal of tying the knot has faded away. Surprisingly, despite this substantial decline in marriage rates, studies reveal that Americans' attitudes toward marriage haven't experienced significant shifts. It's almost like being trapped in a time loop where people still hold onto the concept of wedlock, even as fewer individuals are actually taking the leap. Back in 1976, nearly 3/4 of seniors surveyed indicated an inclination towards marriage, and interestingly, that figure only dipped by a mere 3% by the year 2020. It seems that old habits are proving hard to break. Now, let's dive into some cold, hard facts. The research paper from NCFMR throws a spotlight on the diverging marriage rates among various racial and ethnic groups. While the overall marriage rates for women have been on a downhill slope since the 1950s, it's particularly staggering for Black and Hispanic women. For Black women, the proportion of married individuals has plummeted by a jaw-dropping 60%, while for Hispanic women, it's taken a 33% hit. It seems like the conventional white wedding has lost its allure for some, while others are charting alternative routes to happiness. Now, the million-dollar question. What does this mean for the future of marriage? Is it teetering on the brink of extinction, clinging desperately to its relevance? Well, only time holds the answer. Maybe this decline is a reflection of shifting societal norms and values. Or perhaps it signals that men are searching for different avenues to fulfill their yearnings for companionship and commitment. Regardless, one thing is crystal clear. The institution of marriage is weathering a turbulent storm, and whether it emerges unscathed or transforms into something unrecognizable remains uncertain. Speaking of men, many are beginning to realize that marriage is a raw deal for them, especially when it comes to finances. About half of all first marriages barely make it past the 10-year mark. Infidelity, domestic turmoil, constant bickering, and just a general loss of love, these are the culprits. But hold on tight, because here comes the true Pandora's box: children. In most divorce scenarios, men get hit square in the wallet. It's likely they'll be shelling out child support for ages, and it doesn't come cheap. And guess what? Even if she's a walking disaster, the wife usually walks away with full custody. Visitation schedules may leave an ex-husband seeing his kids for a mere 2 or 3 days a month. And then there's the kicker: alimony. Depending on a judge's mood, a man could end up paying a hefty sum to his ex for years on end. No wonder many men are saying adios to the idea of marriage. It's a risk that just doesn't seem worth it in the cold light of day. Now, who's responsible for this sea change? Spoiler alert: it's not men. It's not even our furry companions. It's women. Shocking, right? But hold your horses, let's break this down. A movement, a darn powerful one, surged in years past to level the playing field between the sexes. It was about time, and many cheered it on. The road was bumpy, but today, women have opportunities to match men in education, careers, and upward mobility. But guess what hitchhiked along with the good stuff? The unwanted baggage. Women were encouraged to embrace life's pleasures to the fullest. They were no longer confined to waiting for a man's advances. So, they seized control of their own destinies, embracing freedom in all its forms, including, well, physical intimacy. A liberating shift, indeed. Now, here's the kicker. If women are freely giving away the milk, why would any sane man want to buy the cow? Women control the world of physical intimacy, while men have the upper hand in the realm of commitment. Marriage these days is a tricky business. The rules have morphed, but in some ways, they remain eerily familiar. Modern women want the best of both worlds. They yearn for independence, careers, and financial control, yet they still harbor old-fashioned expectations of men's roles, especially when it comes to footing the bill. It's a no-win scenario for men. They're expected to embrace tradition when the check arrives, but also to be all about gender equality when it comes to household chores. And let's not even start on modern relationships. Women mature faster than men and often end up rejecting potential partners early on. Then, when they're ready for commitment, the guys they turned down have already moved on. They've matured emotionally, have good careers, financial stability, and often a friend with benefits. They enjoy life on their own terms, unburdened by anyone else's expectations. Marriage, to them, is a shackle that threatens their freedom, and that's a deal breaker. So, if the desire for procreation and family isn't a driving force, what's the incentive for a man to get hitched? Frankly, not much. The prospect of marriage lacks the magnetic pull it once had. It's a complex web of changing values, evolving gender dynamics, and evolving desires. And in this landscape, marriage is finding fewer takers among men who've decided they're better off charting their own course. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so you can be the first to know when my new video drops. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.